Welcome.
To Redefining Normal. We are your hosts, John and Alex.
I thought there's only one host.
Hey, we're redefining normal.
Facts.
We got some special guests here today, guys.
This is my wife, Abigail.
I got my wife, Dee, joining us. We have a great story to tell today.
Yes, my testimony how my life changed with just one drink.
It's amazing how God works in mysterious ways, guys. You guys are in for a treat.
Well, I'm gonna start with my dream. How it started. In my dream, I was doing an exorcism, and the more I pray, I couldn't take out the demon away from this girl, right? And I mean, at this point, I was feeling defeat, because basically I felt like the demon was like making fun of me, laughing. And then Jesus appeared and told me, "How do you expect to cast out demons without my name? No, you don't accept me as your Lord and Savior. You cannot cast out demons." So when
Wow, that's powerful.
I woke up that morning and like I honestly did my fetcher prayer, the morning prayer, and I said like guide me because I'm lost. Like, you know what I mean, what this dream means. Like, I mean, it was like around February 27th, and Ramadan was already coming in March. So you see, I was all excited. Like, what tripped me out was that, like, I didn't have doubts. I was not questioning my belief.
So let's
Yeah.
go back a little bit. You are different religion, right?
Yeah. Well, I come from Islam,
Islam.
and
I remember you really being devoted to religion altogether. Remember when we would go to the restaurants?
Mm-hmm.
He would actually take his prayer mat, and we'd pray and stuff like that. So yeah, I remember that.
so yeah. So for me, even like after I had that dream, people would like I would tell people my dream, but I'll leave that Jesus part. Like, you know what I mean?
Why was that?
My inner man, I guess you can say, like my pride. Because I mean, obviously, if I say, "Hey, I dream about Jesus," if He came to me, like people are gonna be like, "Hey,
Well, I know you mentioned a questioning. Uh, you never questioned your religion, but the Jesus part, does that have to do something like with your religion as well? Like,
well, yeah," because when you take your shahada, you said, "Ashhadu Allah illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah," which means I identify, I believe there's only one God, and that's Allah, one deity, and that's Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad, peace and blessings, is the last messenger and slave of Allah. So with that, they always like after you take it, they always say, and say, I believe that Jesus is just a prophet, and he never died on the cross.
so when this happened, what did you feel? Like confused, or did you feel?
Pues I felt well, a lot of confusion came. I mean, it was two things. It was like why would Jesus appear to me if I spend all this time fighting people about it that he's not God and he never died. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the story gets more wild because remember that Saturday that you were working in your house?
Yeah, I remember. That Saturday, I had just ordered a big old pile, 12 tons of sand to put in my backyard, and woke up early, posted it on Facebook, getting ready to do some work, and you hit me up, right? Letting me know, like, hey, should let me know so I could go help you. Later on, I think you called me, and you're like, hey, we're gonna go, and I was like, oh, I don't know, man, I'm still out here working on this. I said, I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Like, you didn't ask me at that point. We did have that huddle, and I really didn't feel like going that day, to be honest with you. We had a great conversation
Yeah,
while we were working there.
we had a lot of because I remember telling you like I don't like misguiding people. So like in Islam, it's the belief that if God puts Islam on you, that's from God. Nobody could take this away from you. All right. So get that part. Nobody could take this away from you. You know what I mean? So I mean, at this point, at first, I'm like, it's just a dream, you know, dreams happen. I mean, so I was still like, white Jesus, you know? And then we went to that service, and I remember you didn't want to go, and I was pushing to it. Something was telling me, let's go to the service, you know? So we finally got there. At first, we were like, kind of resetting either it's for you or it's for me.
Remember that. Keep in mind, guys, we went there right after we were working outside, shoveling the dirt. So we didn't even take a shower.
Yeah.
Got ready to go out there. But we went out there just as we were.
Yeah, so once the pastor started doing his preaching, I was still like, whatever, you know what I mean? And then once he said that, the famous verse or part that like it was basically from my dream when he said, "Don't expect to cast out demons without Jesus." And I was like, you looked at me and I was like, you know what I mean?
We looked at each other, and I personally, at that point, I was like, John, like, I guess this is for you, my man. When I heard that, I was like, we were just talking about this, about your dream. And it was crazy at that point. I thought, like, this is a sign.
So you're
And
telling me he literally told you what you were dreaming in his own words?
well, yeah, but at this
Well,
point,
he was talking to everybody.
general
Okay.
until he said, "I'm talking to you." And he
Yeah, that's
pointed
something
at me,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, "Oh man!" And then he got close, and he said, "You've been having drugs. You've been having." Well, I mean, he said, "I'm like."
So he described what you were dreaming.
Yeah. So at this point, he's like, "Hey, can I pray? Can I pray? Can I touch you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then he began praying. And then this when he started speaking in tongues. You see, when people spoke in tongues, I always call them liars, fake. You know what I mean? Because I mean, I was really against it. Like a lot of people speak in tongues, but they don't really know where it started. Like in the gospel, when the disciples spoke it, everybody understand it. You know what I mean?
So
when,
what does it mean when people like start speaking in tongues?
because that's when the Holy Spirit is like this is when God helps you to guide others, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Type of way. So with them it was like people from different nations, different like let's say the Mexican I'm gonna say Mexican, Brazil, Japanese, Chinese, they all were there and he spoke one language and they all understood what he was saying.
Okay.
So that's what made it a miracle. So when he began doing that to me and then once I started understanding it freaked me out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
Like what's going on?
yeah, because at first I was like, this guy. You know what I mean?
You're like, here we go.
Yeah,
like
one of those.
one of those, yeah.
Do you know what he was actually saying? Like, what was he
Well,
saying to?
what was said, and my understanding is like, stop, like basically come back, stop fighting it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm calling you back.
And you just felt that in your heart?
Yeah.
That's what.
Both on my soul, on my core, on my brains, on my.
Everything. You just knew it.
Because I stood in shock, like I couldn't move. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like I don't know, I can't explain the feeling, but I felt something, like something undescribable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I was don't. It's still like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that-
Very
that was-
devoted.
Like I never questioned, and I mean the main thing was like why me? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like why? Like I fought you. I try to tell people that you're not the lie, you're not the way. You know what I mean?
But maybe that's why. Now he's like, hey, you're trying to prove that I'm not real. Now I'm gonna pick
I'm gonna show
you.
you.
I'm gonna pick you to spread the word.
Yeah. You see, but on the craziest part is I wasn't looking for you. You know what I mean? Like I cursed your name, and that's a big thing about Jesus. You know, like no matter what you did, he still loves you.
Yeah,
He's
regardless.
still gonna guide you. You know what I mean? So after that, I still fought it. You know what I'm saying?
How did you feel right there at that moment when you came to realize that, like, you know what, like, I just had this experience because that was a magnificent experience.
A lot of my thought was my brothers in this.
That was your first
That was your
thoughts.
first thought.
Yeah, like I was like, damn, like this is gonna make me lose a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I kind of felt embarrassed and I don't know, like well, I felt embarrassed, like I mean, for me, be saying like, be fighting it, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Being
okay.
telling people, no, you're wrong, you know, like it was kind of humillación. How do you say?
You felt like after you did all this, you were like, oh, I was wrong. Like,
Yeah, and as a man, it's
Just
like,
humble.
you know what I mean? Like as a man, pride is really big. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
it's very important for you.
And even when I was telling the dream, I wouldn't tell this because I guess a lot of people, the way they come at you wrong. Because I mean, like when I told you, it came sideways. You could have said, "I told you that he's real." You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I think when you told me that, when we were just talking about that ourselves, um, I didn't even want to tell you, like,
He's real.
like he's real, bro. Like this is, it doesn't get any clearer than this. Like it's Jesus trying to call you, and I think what do you think? What do you think it means, right?
And I know exactly what you were thinking.
Why were you so
Um,
cautious about how you were gonna approach him?
I didn't want to
Push him?
push him in any way. I'm a big believer in that God will come to you in His time,
Mhm.
and I think a lot of times we try to push things on people, and sometimes that might
Backfire.
add resistance
On
or
on
backfire.
on that, I guess it's the way you
But
approach it. You
the
know?
way that you approach it, like my goal there was kind of like for him to find it, right? Which it was amazing because God just guided us to it. He put it in his heart to go that day and help me to make sure that we would go. Because
Yeah.
even when we were there, he still asked me. Well, you remember, no? He had asked me if we're going out. Like, let me ask my wife if she has homework or how's everything, if she's gonna be okay with it. And that's when I wanted to go ask you.
Mhm.
Of course, I really didn't want to go. Not because of anything bad or anything, but
Yeah,
Um,
at this point was the Muslim guy pushing you to
yes,
Mhm.
and that was crazy to me. So I was like, you know what, like, um, he wants to go,
You
and
basically did it just
I
just for
basically did
him.
it like,
You
let's
went
go.
just.
You know what I mean? Because he, like, I could see it in him that he
Mhm.
wanted to go, like he felt he needed to go. So I was like, you know what, like, let's do it, like, let's go. And that's when we got there. Like we were talking,
Yeah.
like, you know what, like this is either gonna be for you or for me.
Yeah,
But I hope that today's
it
word
kind of hit us both, but
hits us. But when he started talking about, as soon as he said that about what was it? It was a when he said about the casting
the
the
demon.
demon. We need Jesus in here. Oh my gosh! Like I felt it right there. Like
Yeah.
oh, like
This is
God,
why we're here.
this is why we're here. You know what I mean?
And you see, even after that, I did accept Jesus, but not really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
How did you accept Jesus then?
was when I recite what he told me to recite.
Oh, okay.
You know what
So
I mean?
they like prayed.
They said it's time,
For
and I
you
said
and-
this with me, so I said it with me.
Have
you
you
know?
accept Jesus?
Oh.
In your heart?
And then I got home. I had a dream where again Jesus appeared to me, and then he was like, I was trying to open the door, and he told me no, those doors are not ready for you to be open yet. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like me, I was like I already did that. Like
Uh huh.
and he was
Now
like,
what?
no, not yet. You
It's
know?
not time yet.
So it got me into studying more. You know, so I started reading. I like going back to history. So I learned his name, Joshua. You know, so crazy part. We went to church that day, and I was telling everybody in my net, hey, his name is Joshua. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we went to church, and then they had on every screen had Joshua. You guys went to the church.
Yeah.
You guys don't
Yeah.
do that.
They don't do that all the time.
So I was like,
Another sign.
and then
Another clear
Jeremy
sign.
Manetti looks at me like, you don't know.
I was surprised.
And I was like, these people listening to my mail, you
The
know.
guy wired, man. Your
Yeah.
house is wired.
So at this point, I'm like, what does this mean? And they start talking about baptized, getting baptized under the name of the Father, the Son. Is it the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit?
Spirit.
Yes. And I felt it like, yeah, to do this, you know?
You just felt like I need to do this.
You felt
Yeah.
like at that point, like, did you like realize, like,
Yeah.
oh, like this is what the dream is about, or how did you? connect
Was
that?
I think it was like part of it because it's still even at that because getting baptized is not really a game. You feel me?
No, it's a big decision.
So the way like me, I criticize a lot, right? Like people say that this, but they don't do what they're saying. You know?
Mhm.
So I mean, the same way I was a hypocrite as well.
Yeah.
Because I mean, just that's was the beauty of Islam because it's strict.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I mean, after that they came from a baptized, that was hard. It was like I was waiting in line and I felt like I was in death row.
Oh wow!
You know what I mean?
What was the hardest part for you? And like,
To be honest, my whole life was flashing to my like I was in Islam. I was like back as a kid to back as here. It's like basically saying that all this led to this
Mhm.
day.
oh wow!
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And once I got called, the pastor said, "Remember, you didn't choose it. He chose
Yeah, he
you."
chose you.
And that kind of like hit me
It resonated with you, like.
like that's true. He I didn't choose him. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then once I got baptized, I can't explain still to now. Like I was hurting, like something died.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like something died, which it was not a bad thing, but like I don't know, like I didn't feel like talking. I just honestly I felt like crying. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was. I guess you could say my love to Islam.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
I
So
think on
It's
that,
sorry. It's very understandable because like you were devoted to Islam, right? You know, and then that was like a major change in your life. So
and the crazy
Within like
Not
weeks,
even-
not
yeah.
even, you know, it was
yeah, because that was
very
actually I
fast. It was
remember the men's huddle was
Those look-
that Saturday, and then
my dream happened on the 27th of February. I got
Mhm.
baptized March 18th.
yeah.
that's crazy.
something that took you years to build to be into the
Destroyed.
Islam.
Well,
it
not
just
destroyed, but
no, but yeah, like the change.
Do you know what? You might have lost your religion, but you found God.
I found the one and
Jesus.
the only way. And well, once I got down, I just couldn't talk. I don't know if you guys remember. You guys only got in and I was just
Yeah.
like come on, like I don't know, like it's something.
You were just zoned out.
I was
Like
so
you
down.
were.
Yeah. You know, I'm a very like emotional person, and right after I got baptized, like TMI, you're crying, and I felt like because I was crying with you. You know, I felt like all those emotions, and it was very special. You know, like a lot of like people like my sister, she felt it too because she was even crying. You know,
Yeah.
because we all know her story, and for you to do that, it was like
That's a big moment.
it was beautiful, but it was like we all felt your pain. Like you were giving up something very important to you, but at the same time, like you said, you lost your religion, but you found God. You know, but it was very emotional because we all felt what you were feeling at that moment. It was-
Because you can even on the picture that they took there, you can see like I just willing to cry. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it's like
I mean, we're all with you because I don't know. I guess we're all connected. That we all felt what you were feeling at that moment. Like it was just different.
Yeah.
That feeling.
and lately, like I mean, I had some dream after dream, and at this point, like no matter what people say, you can tell me what's is not and what is it. You know what I mean? 'Cause I seen it. You know what I mean? Like I felt it. Like you can't. Like for a fact, a lot of people are saying he was not a Muslim.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? He was not a real Muslim. What is a real Muslim?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like these people will not understand that. Even when I was locked up, when I was still praising Islam, I was really to go to war with my brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There was an issue one time when one of the brothers was gonna get jumped by 30, and it was just me and him.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, one thing about John, he's loyal, and you're going down, he's going with you. You know.
How did your brothers from Islam
Was
take it, or how did you feel about like telling them, or
you see?
how did that
First
go?
of all, like we were saying that you were like you baptized, but you were still a little bit in denial of fully accepting that.
That I was, yeah, because people will say, "So you're a Christian now?" And I'm like, "No, no, no, no,
Yes, because I asked him that, and he's like, no.
no, I'm not no Christian." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess in another dream, I kind of like got like said like, "Bro, like, what else do you want?" You know what I mean? Like,
Like I'm throwing all these signals.
Yeah.
What else do you want?
Why were you still ashamed or embarrassed to call yourself Christian?
I guess history wise, but it's not so much history. It was still my pride
That you still hadn't let go completely.
of Islam. Well, it's good. You gotta understand, like,
It's a whole culture, right? Like that's why.
yeah, those brothers are like, I still love them, and they were there for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to come out now. It's sad that a lot of brothers will start talking for my decision because in the end, when even as a Muslim and another brothers would leave Islam, I wouldn't not be mad. I'll be like, I used to say this all the time. I feel that God puts you in what religion he thinks is for you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But now I know that I was wrong too because Jesus is the only way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I know that it's a lot of people that question him, but there's a lot of people that see him even now.
Well, that's one of the biggest. They say kind of like a betrayal, no, for them, where they um, it's actually uh, what is it, punished by death.
Yeah.
That is considered like one of the biggest betrayals
I
in their beliefs.
believe.
Yeah.
So
Well, some of them, some other ones, they go based on what the word says. Some don't. I
Yeah.
mean, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And cause yeah, like all this like blew my mind. Like, and it took me one time, like yeah, I finally hit me that why am I still embarrassed to claim just my Lord and Savior?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he hit me then like if you deny me, I would deny you in front of my Father as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh. And I remember crying and praying, and then Apostle 22 came about, and it was again letting me know that I know what you're feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm here for you, and I'll guide you, and because I used to tell my kids that I don't want to miss. Remember we had that conversation too. That I didn't want to misguide them to
misguide them.
do something that is not. And I really have believed that Islam,
That was it.
that was it, and I feel that if that's what God wants, even because I mean that's it's in the Surahs, and He says that God puts Islam in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And now with all this, it's like now push them like I'm like, hey, Jesus is the way. Not like I force them, but I'm like I preach to them.
Yeah.
Like I mean, they know me. They know that my love I have for this long. Like for me to change in 3 weeks or do the math, and I'm gonna do it, but it was like too fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to these days, I'm proud Christian. I can say now.
Yeah.
Hey, that's awesome.
That's good.
Yeah. And I feel, I mean, he has a reason, right? So we'll find out.
We will
think-
find out.
You know what? What's crazy is with all of this, I was doing some reading right with the resurrection that was past and stuff like that we were studying at church, and the book that I opened was John 1:1, and the book of John is the first only book actually where it talks about Jesus being the Word, right? And how the Word is God. So it's the first one that just resonates that, and I was just kind of like, I couldn't stop by thinking like, wow, like this is so crazy how everything just gives a full round circle. Um, in the beginning of John, letting us know that Jesus is God, and then you fighting the fact that Jesus is not God,
Mhm.
allowing you to actually experience it firsthand and show you
Yeah.
that Jesus is God.
You know what? You know what's crazy though, because what you're saying, like every question I had from the Bible, like every thought I had from the Bible, he answered. He answered all of them. Like every question I had, every question I throw on Christians, he answered them all. Because now I was looking at this with an open mind.
Open mind.
Like everything, I give everything, and I think that's a lot of things that we as humans don't do.
We don't go all the way in.
We don't go all the way in.
Yeah.
But when it's against him, we go all the way in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of brothers that converted to Islam from America and Western, and they didn't take the same effort to look at evidence and the history.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just
Just go with it.
they're just going with it because it's different.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what I'll say to them is look into your own history, find the history of Islam, and compare, and you're gonna see the light and the truth. Yeah.
Let me ask you. So now, like with this whole transition, like how is that like changing within your family?
Well,
A
now
lot.
Yeah.
A drastic change in a matter of weeks. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I don't even recognize him because, like, it's just,
A dramatic.
yeah,
change.
it's a big change.
And you, John, how do you feel like now you take your girls to church every Sunday?
you see, in Islam, when we go to the mosque, the girls stand behind. There, we get separate.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We men's in the front, females in the back.
Mm-hmm.
So now, like, I can see the difference, like what you were saying.
Remember a long time
Yeah.
I was like, that I'm not okay with that. Like your partner is next to you, like together. I
Yeah.
remember having this conversation, and you're like, "No, but you're going to church to be with God, not to be with your partner, or something like that." And I was like, "But you're one." Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember that conversation.
And once I went with church with my wife, I felt the different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt the energy. You know what I mean? Like it was good. It was good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
And you,
I feel-
how you feel, Abby?
Oh, like
You
I
like
said,
go, like you're being a supportive wife with his changes and everything.
I've always supported him in anything. But
oh, sorry. Fun fact: we actually got married in 2012 in the mosque.
Okay.
So she
Yeah.
did. She never questioned my beliefs.
She just went with it. Whatever you were doing, that's ride or die.
Yeah.
so, I mean, like I said, it's been like a big change,
Uh-huh.
not just like in his beliefs, but in his actions. Like, um, when he does wrong or something, he notices. He's like, you know what, this is not how you're supposed to be doing this. I'm sorry. Back then, it wasn't like that, or
Yeah.
like, I don't know. There's just little things that
Changes that you
yeah,
notice,
that
yeah.
you notice that I'm like, what? That wasn't there before, but it's coming from him, not within, not that I'm telling him to do.
Not that you're
you know what I
nagging
mean?
and be like, "Don't do that."
Yeah.
And like it's him.
It's
changing.
just coming from him to where I do see the difference, and I see his, I guess, like his struggles here and there that he doesn't understand,
Yeah.
but it's weird how he always gets the answer to whatever it is that he's questioning. You know, it's
that trips me out still. And you see, and another part is being weird. I never thought this. Like I see a person and I'm like, well, I don't see him. Like I could just feel the energy, and I'm like, you're gonna be good. You know what I mean? Everything's gonna be okay. I don't say nothing because I'm still like, what is
You're
this?
still in the process
Like there's a point that well, not it was not a bad energy, but I like it was too much.
with someone,
wow.
like with a person,
More like
the feeling.
the knowledge, and like I'll start having, I don't know, thoughts will come in my head that I wasn't even thinking. But it was like answers that I questioned, but I was like, oh yeah.
There you go.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's times I can't even sleep at night because I was like, because sometimes I will just have like a bunch of energy. Like I felt something in me, like not evil, like beautiful, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I felt like alive, you know?
Do you feel like whenever like thoughts come to you, like overwhelmed at some point because you don't know, like
Pues es que the main thing I feel wrong because I don't know if I'm supposed to be writing it down or what am I supposed to be. You know what I mean?
yeah, maybe yeah, you should write it down or record yourself or something.
Yeah, because I remember I had a dream when I was talking to God, and then I woke up that night too, and I was just crying. Like I couldn't stop crying. That was weird. Like, and out here trying to cry and quiet because these people are asleep. You know? All that. And now I feel like my goal is to show the love of Jesus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to actually show the love that He brings to us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually trying to do like a little house of love for the youth. You know, where you can come, listen to the gospel, sing. You know what I mean? Nobody charging you or open space for you to feel the love.
Awesome. Let's go.
So just tune in, guys. Coming at you. The House of Love.